and he can't get online. He cannot get to the exchange.
Okay, well, they say there are just some kinks they're working out. Meanwhile, let's separate some fact from myth. First of all, fact or myth. You'll qualify instantly for a federal subsidy if you go online. Fact or myth?
That's absolutely a myth. In 26 states, by the way, you can't even get the Medicaid expansion that was promised to you by the president because the states haven't approved it. Even if you get approved, and even if you calculate that you get a subsidy from the federal government and that you're going to get a tax rebate and it's going to be advanceable, it wouldn't be in place till January 1. So if, God forbid, you had a heart attack now and you're on the way to the hospital and you're not covered, period, you're going to get hit with a stiff bill.
Oh, man.
You're not going to get that subsidy. You're not even going to have that policy.
The president said that he was going to bend the cost curve down, so is this fact or myth? Premiums will be lower than expected.
I think that's totally a myth. Steve, the HHS has been, Health and Human Services has been saying, well, if premiums are going to be lower, they're going to be lower. Maybe the more they announce that, the more it's going to happen. But when you add pre-existing conditions to the bill,
sure,
and you cover everybody up to the age of 26, one thing's for sure, plenty of people's premiums are going to go up. Premiums have been rising about 10% a year as it is now. If you're under 26, if you don't have 17 medical problems, I personally guarantee your premiums are going up, not down.
Something else the president famously has promised is if you like your doctor, you can keep them. Is that a fact or a myth?
That's completely a myth because we're finding out now that a lot of the policies on the state exchanges are going to restrict your network. Many of the hospitals...
Which includes the hospital.
Right. Many of the hospitals are not participating. Many of the doctors are not participating. Many doctors are joining hospital groups now as salaried employees. But that hospital may not take the Obamacare insurance. UCLA is not taking many of the Obamacare insurances. Best hospital in California. All over the country, you're going to have to check now to see if your doctor will take what your new insurance is.
My wife went to the doctor a couple of days ago. She asked whether or not he was going to take it. Nope, absolutely not. Meanwhile, finally, most patients will not use the exchanges. Fact or myth?
You know, that's actually a fact, because with all we're talking about the exchanges, I want people out there to know that over 160 million people are still getting their insurance, not from the exchanges, but from their employer. And you know what? That insurance is in trouble, too, as we've talked about. Highly regulated. You may be dropped to part-time. You may lose that insurance and have to go to the exchange. There's a lot of regulations coming down the pike this year, 27 of them with Obamacare that will apply to you if you're getting it through your employer. So you better check to see if your employer is keeping his insurance.
All right, Dr. Mark Seagel making a studio call this morning. Thank you very much.
It's gray skies today.
Yeah, it is kind of gray.